Hi guys, it's the old man calling. I'm going to show you again in a few minutes the meditative awareness exercise that I've shown quite a few of you before. In fact, I've been showing you for a year on and off. Now what I want to do is I want to move on to show you the exercise and then particularly talk to those of you who've decided to take this exercise, a very simple and straightforward gateway to aware consciousness. In other words, this is a very simple and straightforward way of shifting your awareness into focusing on the experience of being right here, right now. So this is a meditative awareness exercise. It's about noticing in a quiet, meditative way the experience of being right here, right now. So if that's what you want to do, you'll probably enjoy this meditative awareness exercise. And then I want to support you guys who've decided already to turn this exercise into an all-day, everyday practice, a practice of aware consciousness that you can do all day, every day, quite simply and straightforwardly by whenever you remember, in every quiet moment, whenever it's not too noisy going on in here or in the world, you shift your awareness into aware consciousness in the simple way that I'll just show you. This approach is, I call, two realms approach. We'll find out why as we get into the exercise. What we do is we start off, and we always start off when we're going to do some meditation or meditative awareness exercise in looking at what's going, noticing. It's awareness, it's noticing what's going on right here, right now. And in this approach to aware consciousness, what I'd like you to notice is that what's going on right here, right now, is that you and I are engaging with life conceptually. There's nothing unusual about that. That's what us human beings do. Whenever we communicate or interact, nearly all day, whether we're texting, we're reading, we're writing, we're watching, listening to the radio, we're listening to a podcast, whatever it is that we're doing on social media, we're almost always engaging with life conceptually. What do I mean? Well, look, I'm talking using words, ideas, concepts. You're listening, you're understanding on the basis of those words, ideas, and concepts. And in all of those activities are listed, which is what we're nearly always doing. And when we're in human company, that's what we do. We interact and communicate on the basis of a conceptual engagement with life. It's so common that, many people just say, well, that's life, that's what we do. Our lives are full of stories and dramas, and on a basic level, they're driven by words, ideas, concepts. I talk, you listen, you understand. So that's the way that that's one of the realms, if you like, in these two realms. And you think, well, actually, that's life. For a lot of people, that's the one realm. That's life. That's reality. What I'm going to show you here in this little meditative awareness exercise is another realm that is nothing to do with words and ideas and concepts. So let me take you into it, and I'll take you into it in this traditional way that I do on these old man calling videos. That is, I say, bring your attention to the sensation going on in your left hand. Okay, there's a sensation of touch. If you hold your hand like this, it's a sensation of touch going on in your left hand. Okay, bring your attention to that. And if you manage to do that, there are things in life, I don't need to tell you this really, but you're focusing on the things in life that are nothing to do with words and ideas and concepts. It's nothing to do with words and ideas, it's a sensation. This is connecting with your experience of life, not with your interpretation of life. Yeah. So first, bring your attention to that sensation. Next, give up control and see what happens. Okay. Give up control. Stay focused in that sensation, in what I call the sensational world. See what happens. And what happens for me, and I'm sure it happens for you too, because it's a basic fundamental way of engaging with life, is that you've given up control. Consciousness, you're becoming aware of consciousness. Shift your attention from one sense moment, a sensation happening in the moment, to another, to another, to another. So for instance, I become aware of this cushion on my elbow, and then my one knee resting against another knee, my backside on this chair, and then I just notice that tree in the reflection, my hand on my... See, one sense moment, a sensation in the moment, after another, after another. That's how consciousness works. And consciousness doesn't stop, okay? Even if you've stopped thinking or you've stopped moving, consciousness is ongoing. Consciousness is one of the fundamental ways that us human beings engage with life all the time already, okay? So your consciousness will bring your attention to one sense moment after another, after another, after another. That's one of the ways that it's one of our fundamental experiences of life as human beings. Let's shift our attention back into aware consciousness. Become aware of whatever sense. It doesn't have to be your left hand, of course. Consciousness doesn't stop. Just focus on whatever sense moment consciousness is bringing your attention to right now. And then note stop, give up control, and notice the flow of sense moments, this experience of being, presence. Okay? So that's aware consciousness, becoming aware of something that's going on all the time, but you may not have been aware of it. And it's a quite distinct realm, isn't it? It's nothing to do with words and ideas and concepts. We are still doing this, we still live. This is our habitual way of communicating and interacting with each other and with ourselves, thinking, that's all words, ideas, concepts, images, stories, dramas. That's one realm that we live in. But the other realm that we live in all the time already, this is not about that, we're going to create this or we're eventually going to find. We already live in this experience. We are alive in this experience of being. We're becoming aware of it. It's consciousness that shifts our attention from one sense moment to another, to another, to another. So this experience of being is ongoing. We're already been experiencing it for our whole lives, but we may not have noticed. So we're becoming aware of it, aware consciousness in this meditative awareness exercise. Two things that I need to say in order to be kind of upfront with you and make it so that it works as a practice. The first is to recognize that it's that simple to shift our awareness into the experience of being, which is not about words and ideas and concepts. But you and I both know that we tend to drift back into thinking and our everyday way of engaging with life, because that's the way we know. It's the only way a lot of us know to communicate and interact, and in our everyday lives, when we're going to work, going to the shop, talking to each other, that's the way that we interact. It's what we do. It's our way of engaging with life. It may be conceptual, and it is conceptual, but it's also the way we engage with life nearly all the time. So we tend to drift back into that because it's a lifelong habit. So what this practice is about really is noticing more and more ongoingly. Whenever we notice that we've shifted back into thinking, shifted back into our everyday way of engaging with life, what we do in this practice is we choose to do exactly what I showed you, shift our attention back into whatever sense moment consciousness brings our attention to, our relax back into the experience, not the interpretation. It's quite distinct. Two realms. The experience of being. Yeah. You could call it presence, everyday life, consciousness, presence, the experience of being. Okay? Bring your attention back into the experience of being in that way I showed you. Whichever sense moment consciousness brings your attention to, give up control and notice. It's aware consciousness. It's a meditative awareness. It's about noticing. And then notice if your mind kicks back in and you find yourself caught up in a thought. Don't argue with yourself. Don't argue with your mind. Don't get self-critical. Just shift your attention back in that simple way, back into presence, aware consciousness. So that's the first thing. That's how we deal with our tendency of our minds to kick back in and to want to bring us back into our very familiar everyday way of engaging with life. This is about another realm. It's about adding complete extra dimension to your life in the form of a essentially quiet, essentially calm, essentially untroubled realm. Whatever's going on in your everyday life, this is always essentially untroubled. It's amazing and it's full of wonder. So that's one thing that's important to remember. Your mind kicks in, notice, shift your attention back into right here, right now, into the experience of being. And the other thing to notice, let's shift our attention into aware consciousness, whatever sense moment consciousness brings your attention to right now. Give up control. Tune into that flow of sense moments. Aware consciousness this is. This is consciousness bringing your attention. It's not you controlling this. Consciousness is bringing your attention from one sense moment to another to another. So it's brought you back into focusing on the experience of being. So what you're doing now is you're living in the moment, fully focused on the experience of being right here, right now. So if that's what you want to do, turn this into an all-day practice. And it's a way of training yourself, if you like, to live in the moment, fully focused on the experience of being, and to notice when your old familiar habit of this way of engaging with life conceptually kicks back in. Instead of arguing with yourself or your mind, shift your attention back and it becomes a practice that what you're doing really is infusing this untroubled experience of being into your everyday life by that practice. That's how it works. Couple of things I want you to notice about that is shift your attention back into aware consciousness now. And notice that in this realm, in this experience of being, you're not there as a separate self. Okay? You're there as a separate self in the other realm, aren't you? You and me, you're over there, I'm over here, the world's out there. In our conventional way of engaging with life, you are very much here. But in this realm of presence, you're not there as a separate self. What there is a flow of sense moments. It's all inclusive. There's one life that's in this realm. There's one life. It's been called oneness. Notice that tree now. Notice, picture myself, my hands touching my chest. It's life. This is my actual life. This is my interpretation of life. But in this realm, this is my actual life. This is life. The experience of being is my actual life. But I am not there as a separate self, am I? There's a flow of sense moments that are all inclusive. It's not about me and my concerns or my physical or mental or emotional states. It's not about that. The experience of being, aware consciousness, is the life, is life itself, and it's bigger than me, you know. So in one realm, the small me, my mind and my characteristics, but in this realm, it's a bigger picture of life right here, right now. It's one life. It's all inclusive, and it's essentially calm and quiet and peaceful. What I'd like you to notice is that it may be that if you're troubled, you might have the experience that you get caught up in a drama that's going on in here or in the world that you're buying into, and it distracts you so much that you find it that you have the experience of kind of going from one realm to the other. You know, during the drama, you're caught up in this drama that's going on over here in this realm, and it may be difficult for you to. But at some point, when you find a quiet moment, you'll be able to shift your attention very easily into presence again, into aware consciousness. So you may have the experience, if you're quite troubled, as you might be when you first start doing this all-day practice, of going from one realm to the other realm, back from one realm to the other realm. But what I'd like you to notice, because it's very liberating, is that this experience of being, consciousness, doesn't stop. You are always experiencing being. The question is whether you notice it or not, but whether you notice it or not, you are always experiencing. It's one of the fundamental experiences for a human being. It doesn't go away. We're always here. We are always here experiencing, having this experience of being. Yeah. Watching consciousness. If we choose what we can do, what this practice is about is choosing to call that, if you like, your primary reality. This is your life. This experience of being is life. And this going on, it's not going to stop going on. It's, you know, this is the way that we engage with our everyday lives. It's more troubled. It can be more troubled, more complicated, physically, emotionally, mentally, and so on. So I'll talk about those things in the next few videos that I make, because I want to support you guys in recognizing. The first thing I'd like you to recognize is that the experience of being doesn't go away. This is life, okay? So there you go. This is the Old Man Calling. Don't forget to subscribe to the Old Man Calling channel. Share the video, tell people about it, and enjoy. Also remember, notice. It's about noticing that life is happening right now, this experience. And look to your experience, not to your interpretation of it. Not to try and think it out. Don't try and think it out. Tune in that way I showed you, to your experience of being. And then you'll find yourself right here, right now, in a wonderful world of aware consciousness. One life. It's fabulous. Okay, talk to you again. Bye.